Welcome back to another episode of the F1 Casuals. It's just me today. It was supposed to be a race week this past weekend. Of course, we had the tragic flooding at Imola, the surrounding towns, Faenza. Probably not saying that properly. That's where AlphaTauri's headquarters are. Very sad to see the river next to the track was overflowing. It was flowing into the towns. Not great. Hoping that everyone over there is doing well at this point and on the road to recovery. But it is race week again, and I don't think there's going to be any rain in Monaco. Just kidding. There is, and that's going to make for a very exciting race. Monaco, if you are new to F1, is 1/3 of motorsport's Triple Crown, the other two being the 24 Hours of Le Mans and the Indy 500. I think Fernando... He's won Le Mans, and I think he's been close to Indy 500. But, and we'll get into Fernando a little bit later on. I'd say the best news coming out of Monaco this week is that F1, the production, is taking over everything at Monaco this week, coming up this weekend. Used to be people like the local directors in Monaco. And that's how we ended up getting the Lance Stroll meme when, if you recall, a couple of years ago, Vettel was making a great pass on, I think it was Gasly, and then they switched right to Lance Stroll's crash, which already happened. I believe it was a replay at that point. So F1 was like, you know what? We gave you all the chances in the world. We need to come and fix this. And hopefully they get all the classic camera angles, like the one near the pool where you've got the quick S turn. I'm sure they will. I think the direction will just be a bit better. But let's be honest here. F1's not so great at direction either. This isn't isolated to Monaco. We've had other tracks where we're like, what the hell is going on here? We're missing all the action. And considering it's F1's first time directing Monaco, you never know. But hoping for the best. Hope we get a nice production. And I think a lot of us out there are hoping for maybe a Charles Leclerc win at Monaco. He is Monegasque. He's had some very unfortunate results. Some might say cursed results at Monaco. But I think just maybe this year might be his year. Said earlier that it's looking like there might be some rain in Monaco. Charles... It's not really known as like a wet weather driver. I would say you got Fernando, of course. You've got Lance, who surprisingly is a pretty good wet weather driver. But Charles, we'll see. But you saw in Baku that Ferrari has the pace to be put on pole. Charles got pole in both the actual qualifying and the sprint shootout, whatever the hell that is. So it's there. And at Monaco, almost impossible to pass. I believe, at least the last 20, 30 years, the farthest back to win was P3. So if you're getting pole in Monaco, you've got a very good chance of winning the race. Now, with Charles, that may not always be the case. It seems like he always runs into bad luck in his home country. I was going to say hometown because it's basically a town, but it is a home country. Let's just, let's take a second here. Send him the good vibes. He deserves it. Charles deserves this win. Red Bull's running away with it. It doesn't matter anymore. Let's just give Charles this win at Monaco, and I think we'll all feel better about it. See the pool dive from Charles. Gotta love it. But then you've got, of course, Sergio, who is the king of the streets. Monaco is a street circuit. Perez has won at Monaco, and he's definitely going to want to get a result after the dominance we saw from Max Verstappen in Miami a couple weeks ago, going all the way from P9 to P1 and making it look very, very easy. I think Charles has a chance. I think the Ferraris have that pace. I think maybe, just maybe, we could see a sneaky Fernando up at the top. He's got so much skill. Monaco is a very technical track, and Aston Martin is better around the corners than the straight line speed, which would be a positive in Monaco. So we'll see. Red Bull's car, too good. We can't say it enough because it's all we can really say is that car is too fast, too good for the grid, And really, it's a two-man race, Max versus Sergio. I mean, really, it's a one-man race. But we're gonna keep pretending that it's a two-man race so we can have something exciting to look forward to week in, week out. Just kidding. I mean, the races are great. That's good enough, right, folks? So we're just going to go through some headlines that have popped up over the last week or so, get everyone caught up before we head into the Monaco race weekend. And then next week, we'll all three be back with a breakdown of the Monaco Grand Prix. So think of this of a very long version of Sprint to the Finish Line. Well, not super long. I think this episode will probably come in at like 20, 25 minutes. We are still sponsored by Boxing Rock. It is the morning right now, so I'm not drinking Boxing Rock. I'm actually having some coffee in this lovely Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning coffee mug. Yeah, the dynasty might be over, but hey, it was fun while it lasted. And for those who are thinking, wait, you're a Devils fan. What's going on there? Well, I've got a soft spot in my heart for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I got some family on the team there. All right, some of the podcast accounts on social media are talking about this F1 royal wedding. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I heard about this. Chloe Stroll, she got married like a week and a half ago. That's Lance Stroll's sister. She got married to, I don't know, some like pro snowboarder or something. But everyone was calling it like the F1 royal wedding or whatever. And I'm pretty sure other than Lance and Daniel Ricciardo, who we love to see, we're the only F1 drivers there. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm probably going to put this clip on social media. So let me know in the comments. But that's two F1. That's not an F1 royal wedding. The only F1 royal wedding is going to be when Fernando Alonso weds whomever he decides to wed. Okay? And that's what we're going to say right now. Big shout out to Hannah Schmitz. Now, if you didn't watch last week's episode, we did a special F1 Academy spotlight episode with the Ultimate Paddock Pass. They're a podcast slash like social media channel from Spain. I think there's 8 women that are all over Spain and they coordinate one another. Very cool. So we chatted about F1 Academy and how they're getting the short end of the stick and some of the solutions that, you know, hopefully we can come up with to make this situation a little bit better. But Hannah Schmitz is someone that we mentioned, and she is the principal strategy engineer for Red Bull, and she's responsible for, you know, the Red Bull strategy. And we talk about how great that car is, the aerodynamics, the DRS, the power, everything like that. But what often goes overlooked is the strategy. And you have Hannah Schmitz to thank for that. Red Bull, week in, week out, almost always has the right strategy. And you have Hannah Schmitz to thank for that. There's a great article that I encourage you to check out. The Athletic just wrote it. We'll put it in the show notes, highlighting Hannah and kind of her road to where she is now with Red Bull. And very good read. This could be interesting. I saw this the other day on Twitter. Williams Racing, they one of their sponsors this year, Golf International. You recognize their logo. They've sponsored, you know, McLaren for many years, and they did the special golf livery for McLaren 2 years ago at Monaco. And apparently, Williams is getting a special golf livery for Monaco this year. It's going to be debuting in a few days, the 26th. In 3 days, you're going to be seeing that livery. I'm going to be honest with you, the McLaren one from 2 years ago is probably one of my favorite liveries of all time. So, I mean, Williams has some big shoes to fill on this one. I think they could do it. I just don't think they will. I mean, that McLaren one was perfect because he had the papaya and the light blue, and it was beautiful. But excited to see what they do with that livery, and you know, it's always fun to get a little bit more fanfare for Williams because we love Alex Albon, and Williams is a team that has struggled lately, but have a very storied history. I know we're missing F1. We thought we were getting a race this weekend. We didn't, but F1 just put up on their YouTube channel the other day the 2005 San Marino Grand Prix, and that was at Imola. So they used to call it the San Marino Grand Prix. Now they call it the very long title that everyone was making a meme about online in the past week. Imola, whatever. I'm not even going to try. Doesn't matter. Used to be the San Marino Grand Prix. Not sure why they don't still call it that. Pretty simple. But 2005 was a great battle between Michael Schumacher and our boy, Fernando Alonso. I encourage you to check that out. There's one pass, and I don't want to give anything away, but Alonso makes on Schumacher, just going full speed around a long, winding left turn, and just uh, incredible to watch, really. So if you need that fix, go to the F1 YouTube channel, check it out. So I didn't even hear about this until I was looking up some headlines the other day, but apparently there were rumors that Liberty Media is going to sell F1 after all this. I don't know why that would be. They just bought F1, and as it turns out, the rumors, they're not true. I guess people were saying that they're going to sell majority share to the Saudis. Anyways, that's not happening. And the CEO of Liberty Media, this quote kind of annoys me because now I really know what direction they're going. But he said, "We have a new opportunity with what we're doing in Las Vegas, where we'll be the promoter, and we have an opportunity to learn about something and hopefully set the bar." I don't know if you've seen the track layout for Las Vegas. It kind of looks like a pig. Um, Not the greatest shape for a track. And it just goes to show the fact that they see this opportunity in Las Vegas. I guarantee you, it's not an opportunity for a great race. It's an opportunity for a great spectacle and to sell more tickets than they've ever sold before. And I mean, yeah, the other side of the coin is that is just business, and Liberty Media is a business, and all they're trying to do is grow F1, which is also a business. And I understand it from that point, but I feel like it's going to bite them in the ass eventually. You know, people are going to want good racing, not hilariously cringe entrance songs and it's like, what was that with LL Cool J and Will.i.am? What are we doing there, folks? Can't imagine what it's going to be like in Las Vegas. I just said this the other week. Like, I am a fan now. I've been a fan now for 5, 6 years now, and I don't care about this. I don't care about this, the parade. I don't care when they drive around in the lap and the old cars. Like, if you're there, I mean, that could be cool, but like on the TV, we want to see a good race. And I just don't think Vegas is going to be a great race, but they're still going to say it's a win because they made billions and billions of dollars. So we'll see. And on the heels of that, Stefano Domenicali quoted saying, "The drivers need to remember that they're part of a bigger picture." So, yeah, I mean, we know what's going on here. They're just trying to grow F1 to the absolute maximum. And in America, I mean, I see a lot of Americans online being like, this is not what we want, but the big spectacle is what sells down there. Big flashing lights, fireworks. So that's the route Liberty Media is taking. And I guess we'll see what happens. Here's a funny little quick one for you. Zach Brown has stated that McLaren's start to the season, not as bad as it looks, folks, and expect improvements throughout the year. That sounds like a guy who's trying to keep his job. And I don't know if he's gonna. I mean, we did see better results at Baku, and I don't know if we're gonna see great results down the stretch, but we'll see, Zach. We'll see, Zachy boy. So Ferrari has now entered contract talks with Charles Leclerc. He is up in about a year, I believe. He signed He signed that deal a couple of years ago now. Apparently, talks are going well. There hasn't really been any leaks. There was an interesting side story where there are rumors that Ferrari offered Lewis Hamilton a contract more than Mercedes was offering. I don't even think anyone knows how much any of that would be, but Lewis actually is out of contract this upcoming season. Most people pointing to him staying with Mercedes, and most people pointing at Charles to stay with Ferrari. I mean, where is he going to go at this point? Most seats are filled, but I don't expect him to sign a 5-year deal like he did last time. Fernando coming out saying that he thinks he can win a race this year. And you know that we agree here at F1 Casuals, huge Fernando fans. Can't state that enough. And he's been pretty close all year. Can't get to that P2. He's been P3, 4 out of the 5 races so far, which is fantastic to see. I think he can do it. You know, that Aston Martin clearly is behind Red Bull in terms of everything. Red Bull is just, too good. But mistakes can happen. We've seen it. We've seen the car have issues. Anything can happen in F1. And I think at some point during this season, Fernando's going to capitalize on a mistake or two, or he's just going to have the greatest race of his life, and he's going to pull out that victory. Now, the Ultimate Paddock Pass girls last week, they were saying that maybe Fernando's going to get that win at Spain in Barcelona. And I pointed out that the last chicane has been changed to a wide right to collect that speed for the first straightaway. And Nat, the main host of their podcast, she said the last time that Barcelona didn't have that chicane was in 2013. And that was Fernando's last win. So, I mean, it sounds a little serendipitous, doesn't it? We'll see. Could be Barcelona. Could be another race. I'm going to pop this clip up on social media. So you let us know in the comments, which race do you think Fernando's going to win this year? Or do you even think he's going to win a race at all? We certainly hope so. And to finish off, an absolutely massive, huge shout out to Yuki Tsunoda, not just for the stellar performances he's been putting on all year with an absolute shitbox of an AlphaTauri car, which doesn't get enough flack. I'm not really sure why. It just doesn't. He's put that car in the top 10 twice. I think P11 twice as well. And I mean, he's pushing that thing to the limit. You've seen he's more confident, that he's mitigated those mistakes that we've seen in the past. He's fixing for that Red Bull seat real soon, I think. But that's not why we're shouting him out. We're shouting him out because he, over the weekend, was in Faenza, where the flooding was taking place, where AlphaTauri's headquarters are, and he was helping out, doing what he could for the locals, being there, supporting, just all around great guy, and someone that we really hope can succeed once he does get that Red Bull seat, because he's going to get it. It's just a matter of time. And I think he's done his time in AlphaTauri. If he went straight into that Red Bull seat, would have been a disaster. We've seen it a million times. And Yuki's able to, in that AlphaTauri seat, gain his composure, his confidence, and he'll be ready to go and challenge Max maybe in the next few years. All right, folks, I know that was a quick one, but that is it for today's episode. We just wanted to get some content out for you and some content out on social media. We'll have the Monaco Grand Prix review show next week. The boys will be back. Very excited for that. But until then, just kidding, gotta do the shout outs. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, please subscribe to the podcast, give us that 5-star rating, and leave us a little review. Let us know. We say it every week. You can say whatever you want in that review. Probably not any profanity. I feel like Apple might take that down. But anything else, do it up. If you're on YouTube, you're watching us in living color, smash that like button. Subscribe to the podcast and hit that bell button. We're putting out stuff pretty much daily. You don't want to miss it. And we're also on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook at F1 Casuals. Check us out. We're breaking down these clips. We're putting up stories about all the news going on in the F1 and motorsport world at large. We're having a great time, and we're excited for you to join us on this journey. Like we said, we want to get huge. We want to go to the Montreal Grand Prix. Probably not this year. It's like in a couple weeks, so actually definitely not this year, but definitely next year. We want to be there as the F1 Casuals, so spread the word. Tell your friends if you like this podcast and they like F1, it's a match made in heaven. But until then, it's lights out. We'll see you on the grid.